Veritas, support Hylissang, and of course, Coach Shibi.
Yeah, changes on that roster, and obviously changes that we've talked about so often already here. Just day 2 on the side of Origen. Later on, we see Vizicsacsi, his nice little face right there, chess master. Maybe he needs to pull up some moves because it will be rough going against Origen. They're playing on the red side here in game 1. Obviously, still sOAZ in the top lane, amazing in the jungle, and PoE/Expected in the mid lane. But then we see these changes here. Forgiven in the AD carry position, Hybrid in support. Nico the Pico will have to steer some of these strong personalities, see if we can keep them down and make them play as a team.
And a very potentially explosive team. When we talked about this team before the season started, we're like, all these guys are great individually. They can really make something work, but they're known to have these explosive personalities. And if they work together, if they can figure out how to function as a team, they truly are a contester for playoffs, maybe even for champions in the split.
Champions is...
I think so.
I mean, contestants maybe.
Contestants, let's go there.
Yeah, so maybe
I said candidate. I didn't say like clear victor here.
They're going to win the summer split.
That's it. I've seen 2 games. They lost both, but I'm convinced. That's it. They've got everything.
No. They're definitely closer than the Unicorns. Unicorns have a lot of work left. They made a couple of roster changes right here, and they're not really gelling immediately. We also have Veritas coming in, wasn't impressed with him at all. Hylissang spoke nicely about him in one of the soundbite though, saying he had some synergy with his AD carry all of a sudden, but we need to see that happen in the game on the Rift.
Absolutely, and I think coming into this, there's a new meta, there's opportunity for a lot of new picks and a lot of variance in what you can do, and they really need to figure out how they want this team to function, because Move and Exileh obviously need to step up, Veritas as well. I mean, your Rock really is your support and your top laner who have remained a part of this team, and we have to wonder what they're going to prioritize and what they're going to do coming into this game to make these new roster changes work.
Yeah, hoping for a clear strategy from Unicorns, not something kind of jumbled together, and something that can maybe free up Hylissang. He has shown in the past when the Unicorns struggle, he results into a pretty much roaming-oriented style, and maybe that's a little bit better, especially against a team that is rather disjointed, as is Origen lineup.
Yeah, and I think looking at OG as well, I mean, they played pretty excellently in Game 2 at certain points, but they just weren't able to do it consistently. So if they can have that consistent level of performance, it's going to be incredibly difficult for UOL to make a mark here. And moving forward, I think we're going to have to see what exactly Exileh is going to bring to the table today, because the Azir we saw yesterday was simply not enough.
Yeah, definitely not enough in the way he played it. Moving to Champs League though, first ban straight off the bat, targeted at Forgiven, Caitlyn out.
No surprises there, of course, Bard following up, as well as the Nidalee, really trying to limit that playmaking potential coming in from Hybrid, as well as shut down some of Move's jungle pool. Of course, a very successful Nidalee player in his time in the NA LCS.
Yeah, Move's jungle pool and just the generic jungle pool. Kindred and Nidalee top tier junglers right here. Interesting that they actually go for the Rek'Sai preemptively. So they're basically saying the Unicorns ban Kindred right now, and we'll play a B tier list of jungles, or we'll just straight up first pick it. Origen can take the risk, give over to Kindred, and then lock in some power picks of themselves, like an Ekko if they want it, or another nice Maokai for sOAZ, which he obviously has,
super excited about, tweeting about how happy he was.
Overjoyed.
Overjoyed about the pick. A fair way to describe it.
Wow, they actually banned out the Twitch. The Twitch Taric combination was played yesterday. We couldn't really see the pure strength of it, because people always talk about how Twitch can then do his entire ultimate in this state of invulnerability, but the whole power of it actually came down from actually being to sneak up in stealth as Twitch and then getting the proxy stun from Taric, but we never saw that combo used because Schalke was respecting it a lot.
We're not going to see it today either, as the picks are coming out incredibly quickly. First pick support coming in on the side of Unicorns of Love, the Braum locked in, and Lucian, Kindred the response on the opposite side.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Trading a Braum for Lucian Kindred doesn't seem worth it for me.
So much power. I mean, we've seen Kindred be such a hugely contested pick. Unicorns of Love not prioritizing, and of course Move really did struggle on it yesterday, but at the same time, giving up Lucian as well seems incredibly risky.
This may mean that Veritas will end up playing Ezreal though, and it could unlock Hylissang as a roaming component if he goes back for his first trash pick, for example, and we could see maybe Unicorns going back to their roots. You know, they still have part of their core here alive with Vizicsacsi and Hylissang. They're obviously going up against a face they've seen before. PowerOfEvil actually jokingly joined the Unicorns lineup in the lobby, and then Hylissang had to tell him, well, it's a little late.
Well, it's a little throwback. It's, you know, it's Friday, not Thursday.
Yeah.
Got to keep it fresh. Of course, Elise going to be locked in, as well as the Trundle. So Trundle moving up into that top lane, as Braum has already been locked in as the support. Origen kind of taking their time on this second rotation, but
I like when you feel like you've been outmatched in picks in bottom lane. Generally, when the enemy picks Lucian. I like the Trundle pickup actually, because it forces them to at least lane swap. Because Trundle generally wins any 1v1 matchup early, or pretty much throughout the entirety of the game. So lane swap kind of helps hide that weak matchup. We need to see if sOAZ is just going to take it head on. Ekko can do it, but requires just a little bit of attention. If there's an additional gank though, say Elise goes into the top lane, sOAZ may suffer, and we've seen him play or make some weird decision once he's put in kind of the tilt zone, being camped, put in low CS. So let's see if Origen are taking care of those risks.
Yep, and of course, as you mentioned, Ekko locked in as well as the Janna coming in for hybrid, so a more defensive support. But looking back to that top lane, looking back to how Chachi and sOAZ are going to match up, we have to wonder what moves impact is going to be on the top side of the map, if that is where he's going to spend his attention, because yesterday we just really did not feel his presence in any lane, to be honest.
No presence here. Also, they're kind of figuring out, do we go for a passive pick in the mid lane, or do we really want that pressure early? So they're actually going for full-on pressure here. Skirmish AD carry with the Kalista. So definitely no roaming Braum here. Lane Braum for sure. Kalista with the change is even more useless on her own because you need your support next to you to trigger that passive effect. And then LeBlanc. Blind LeBlanc aggressively picked in the mid lane. Not the biggest fan of it anymore. It seems like the payoff isn't big enough for when the inevitable teamfight state starts happening, that you really need to snowball. So you need to do what like Fnatic did yesterday. Get so many kills that any team comp advantage gets nullified.
And of course, looking at Exileh on the mid lane, he played Azir yesterday, not really one of his comfort picks. Looking at how he has played solo queue, LeBlanc, however, is one of his most played, something that he knows very well. So Unicorns prioritizing that comfort and looking maybe to early snowball here, but that's a really aggressive decision from a roster that struggled so much yesterday.
Yeah, if they can keep sOAZ down though, the entire lineup is pretty squishy right now for Origen here to pick up, because they don't have really a tank that can soak. Ekko is a tank in the sense that it jumps the backline and it kind of annoys people, but it's not like a Maokai that plays in the front. Having no melee support either, it's going to be tricky to balance the positioning for Origen. For Unicorns of Love, it's a little bit easier if they introduce Vizicsacsi in these fights. He can soak a little bit more and get really tanky, especially if he gets that ulti on sOAZ. Then the entire lineup from Origen will get squishy. So they need to be careful, especially in these pick-off scenarios where Trundle is involved.
Yeah, no longer QSS is not going to get rid of that subjugate, and of course something we have to consider. It used to be sort of the saving grace in that top lane matchup, even if European top laners obviously weren't prioritizing that build. But PowerOfEvil on this Orianna, some pseudo tankiness and a more supportive mid, but OG, we were critical of them picking kind of odd strategies in their first game yesterday, and it seems like they put themselves in sort of an awkward position here.
Well, they have the better scaling team fight later on, I imagine, but the top lane triangle is definitely in favor of Unicorns early. I mean, Trundle's going to beat that lane, or at least go even if you play a mediocre Trundle. LeBlanc should have some pressure early and move with that pressure of these two lanes, should be able to find some picks.
Of course, you've seen the comps now. Tweet at LOL Esports, hashtag UOL win if you think these new roster changes can bust it out, or if the OG Classics can find it, hashtag OG win as we gear up here for game one. And you talk about the top lane triangle. On the opposite side, though, it feels like if Amazing ever is able to find an advantage on this Kindred, things get out of control pretty quickly.
Yeah, if the Unicorns make one mistake that's big enough, then obviously Origen will just take complete control of the game. If the matchup tilts, like Kindred into Elise is very tricky, so I need to be careful with that. But whoever gets a jump will win the duel.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, game one. Unicorns of Love on the blue side, Origen on the red. Running out of the base, early item pickups. Have to wonder what exactly the lane matchups are going to be moving forward.
Yeah, a lot will be known immediately once we get these deports out. If any team goes for deports, it means they're thinking at least about a lane swap. It's incredibly rough to play Kalista into this Janna Lucian lane though, because Braum's shield will never block piercing light, so that'll still go through. It'll get amplified by the AD's bonus from Janna's shield, and you generally never get an all-in, especially against an exhaust lane, so it kind of fits for Given style too. He loves playing these lanes where he has a range advantage on the support, and he can bully, and support. It's a Cloud Drake. I think you can actually just keep feeding sOAZ. sOAZ loves catching these waves and getting fed, as every top laner does. He hates playing from behind, I think, more than the average top laner. So it's good that the first tower goes out for Origen, because that means sOAZ can farm longer. Forgiver will take a little bit of a hit, so they'll need to control the beast there, the comms. He'll make up for farm later.
Never happy to have that. Oh, Gan comes into the mid lane though. PowerOfEvil taking a lot of damage, looking to make his way out, but first blood. Quick pickup from Exileh and move. We wanted to see more from him, and they're already making something happen here.
Big swing here, because this is exactly what Exileh needs. Opting in for the early Negatron too, he just really wants to get his presence known, make sure he can always outtrade power, keep the presence there, and then allow move to move into the enemy jungle, potentially get some wards in. and look for more picks. Unicorns need to find some picks in the early game.
Definitely wanted to snowball, as we talked about, have the potential to just grow a lead very rapidly, given the opportunity. Move, of course, doing very well in the jungle thus far with the first gank. Needs to keep the pressure up, as you mentioned. Top side, you can see the lane swapping back and forth. OG trying to stay ahead on tempo, as we mentioned earlier. Not seeing too much impact from the jungle just yet, as Amazing and Hybrid start to move down into the jungle, or rather into the bottom side. Don't think they're going to prioritize the Cloud Drake, but some early vision laid down in the Razor Sight buff from Amazing. Want to make sure that they're relatively safe to invade here. Will be able to grab that stack. It's first one of the game. Looking in, Hybrid drops the pink ward as well. So OG completely taking control of the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and the Unicorns actually did something to get Vizicsacsi back in the game. They sent Kalista down to the bottom lane to reveal herself. Get back to that later.
Oh, Chachi exhaust comes in. TP coming in as well. Chachi in trouble. Third stack is gonna proc. Amazing grabs that one. Exile. He TP's in, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, too little too late. Unicorns were trying to get Chachi back in the game. They sent their AD carry down to the bottom. That forced sOAZ to push the lane, usually. Then Kalista went to the top lane again and said, handed over all this farm to Vizicsacsi. As he was looking at that farm, like juicy farm, about to pick it all up, suddenly he gets dove by multiple members from Origen. And now he will have a really rough game here. Forgiven kind of avoid the same thing happening to him in the top lane, which should be easy for him. Pick up this farm, then Origen will have a nice lead. This is where Vizicsacsi should probably go for a teleport dive. Should have gone maybe. See if he can pressure Forgiven off this turret.
Oh, maybe not. It's comfortable. Great predict from Power. Don't think he's going to find anything else on that one, but just showing off. Reading Exile like a book.
Yeah, Unicorns of Love, page 2, Exile.
Moving in, though, of course, as you mentioned, no response play on the top side, so the gold remains relatively even, 1 kill apiece, and no surprise that the Cloud Drake has not been the focus here. Forgiven and Hybrid finally starting to push out, and Chachi may not have been able to grab the farm earlier, but finally able to clear these waves, pressure-free.
Looking for some cheese, but I'm not sure if they actually want that. They have the exhaust advantage, that's why they're going for this. Looking for a creep for Hylissang to dash to. Probably waiting for Forgiven to use his Q.
Elise coming up.
Elise coming too.
Oh,
Flash into it.
Great predict! Move! Knows where the opponents are going to be. We talk about books. UOL reading Origen just as well. Excellent pickup there.
Yeah, that almost looked like he failed it. And then Forgiven flash into it. He's like, yeah, of course I was predicting this flat. Happens to me all the time in solo queue.
That's pretty much my life story in solo queue. Throw a hook, miss, someone flashes into it. Oh, mad life, I swear, totally planned. Maybe a similar story for Move, but definitely great proactive play. Amazing. 3 stacks to the concussive blow. The stun is going to drop. Chain CC coming in. Tornado to disengage, hopping to safety, but Veritas is here as well. Lamb's respite goes down. TP coming in, maybe looking for more. Amazing healed up. They're not going to grab it. So close. Power, though, he could be in trouble. The team is moving forward. No ultimate available. Veritas grabs another kill.
Yeah, and Origen made the same mistake yesterday. They went for plays in the wrong part of the map. You just lost a member in the top side. You know the jungle was around. And Amazing on his lonesome wanders into enemy jungle, despite it one time belonged to himself. And he finds himself picked off. And then Power tries to help. It all starts right here. Does he miss? Is he going for Janna? Look at this. Yeah, he was going for Hybrid. He was going for Hybrid. There's no way he predicted that, because Forgiven could have flashed upwards. But it was the right choice, because you go for the guy without the gap closer, and then you use the repel on him to maybe chase Forgiven afterwards. Definitely solid play here from Move.
Cerebral play overall, and while OG were able to tie it up for a decent period of time, UOL finally have this gold lead, responding incredibly well to the map movement coming in from OG, and really punishing those mistakes.
Yeah, they punish the mistakes, and they draw all the attention to the top side, which leaves Vizicsacsi alone in the bottom of the map, and then he can catch up. 1v1, he still has a stronger matchup. Despite being down a little bit of experience and gold early on, he still manages to get a 7 CS lead right now on sOAZ. So everything is actually going great for the Unicorns.
Absolutely what they want with the Tiamat as well. The wave pressure is vastly in their favor. Amazing. He's going to take a consolation prize here, but it's only the Cloud Drake.
Yeah.
Not really what he wants.
And it's going to be an Infernal next.
Infernal next? Are you calling it?
Feel it.
I'm waiting. Bated breath. Is it going to be? Eh? Okay. Oh no, camera!
Camera.
Oh, observers. That's a Cloud Drake.
The next one.
Eventually, it will be an Infernal Drake.
Well, it may not be.
No, I got it. At 35 minutes, it'll be an Elder Dragon. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Bold predictor, huh?
Looking back, of course, the farm across the board, things relatively even on the top side despite Chachi's earlier lead, but the mid lane vastly in favor of Exileh, gets that lead on LeBlanc and is just pressing his advantage now.
Yeah, 20 CS up, Negatron 2. Getting an early kill in a lot of these mage matchups means you either play the risky game where you buy more damage so you can kill them quicker, or yeah, you play the matchup 1v1 but you never die. So you still need to make a play to kill them because your damage is the same, but you have Negatron so they can never counter you. So that fancy predictor from Power would have done a lot more damage if it wasn't for the Negatron.
Exileh playing more conservatively. Definitely appears to be the right choice. Doesn't want to risk anything after day one set of games, but I want to look at the mid lane here. PowerOfEvil has the Chalice. Or is this the unholy grail Orianna? Is that what we're expecting to come out?
I mean, one would expect it once he's pivoting to meet Chaos Orianna. Truly accepting his wall between all these egos, these strong voices, sOAZ shouting him from one side, forgive him from the other.
But the dive looks like it is going to come down. Snap back from sOAZ to make it to safety. Amazing, picking up a kill as well as a stack. OG makes the dive happen, but the tower drops on the bottom side.
Yeah, with these late reactions though, communication is rough here for the Unicorns. Teleports get used to defend, but way too late. They're not reading the plays. So both these teams playing in a very reactionary state of mind, as we saw with Amazing 2. Wanders into the jungle, assumes it's safe, suddenly he's in trouble. His team tries to help him, but nobody's really reading the plays here.
Yeah, of course, OG will be able to take this tower down as well. Unicorns of Love, they're trying to make something happen on the bottom side. They have decent pressure. I don't know if they have enough raw power to force down this turret, and OG have vision of their own jungle. They're completely safe to just pressure out here.
Pressure out. And again, get sOAZ going. That's what you need to do. Vizicsacsi 0-2 right now in the matchup already.
We talked about it. We talked about Trundle being a potentially stronger duelist, can steal those tanky stats, but just kind of getting dove time and time again, being shut down, and OG making some moves to get sOAZ ahead. 0-0-2, not an amazing scoreline, but now a CS lead in his favor. Sheen coming out, he's got a lot of early game power.
Yeah, early game power, and we have to remember time is fleeting for the Unicorns. The scaling is definitely in Origen's favor. Unless PowerOfEvil really gets put into the dumpster, then maybe we have that looming threat of a LeBlanc WQR combo on Forgiven, just kind of taking him down, or into Hybrid. They're playing with an exhaust, they have the Kindred ultimate, sOAZ is in the game, so a lot of things started to turn around here for Origen despite the really good start for Unicorns.
Absolutely, and of course, only the 12-minute mark, 20K for UOL, 13 point or 19 point here. That'd be a big difference for OG. So nothing major quite yet. It's all going to be about who can play this out better, because really the advantages aren't huge for either side at this point. And outside of the LeBlanc getting really fed, it doesn't feel like OG have too much to be scared of.
Yeah, and it's not like Kalista Braum's going to siege down mid lane.
Not quite the Caitlyn.
Not quite the Caitlyn there. Fury playing League of Wave Clear.
Always happy to do so, it would appear. Orianna, the pocket pick, he likes to bust out, but maybe hoping to make some plays here in the mid lane. Amazing paying some attention. sOAZ coming down, and they're going to spot move in the jungle with Veritas and Hylissang, just clearing it out. Going to wander over, maybe hoping to get some vision control on the top side here. Neither side making any big moves quite yet.
Yeah, that's what you do. When you can't push in the towers, tier 1s are down, you just move in between, you starve the enemy, kind of his resources in his jungle, and you hope that they get greedy. Amazing right here, challenging his own jungle. He has to kind of let it go, go to this other side, but then you have Forgiven, who always takes your wolf camp. So Amazing may take a hit in farm here.
Does have a small lead now, and I think much more cautious this time when he clears out the topside jungle. We saw him drop already once from getting over-aggressive there, so just accepting that he does not have the pressure or the vision to contest that red buff, of course. Especially hard to deal with the Kalista rend in that exchange as well.
Yeah, this time he knew he was outmanned. It's like the third ward move is cleared in that brush here. Such a vision-style jungler.
Getting in. Maybe looking for something. Parallel Convergence drops. OG kind of just nipping at the heels of UOL at this stage, not able to find the engage they want, and unfortunately...
He get some damage on this tower now, though, because PowerOfEvil was moving away to the side to kind of join that fight, and he left mid lane. The whole reason PoE was kind of clearing his waves is because he started the wave clear before the wave actually got to the tower. So by the time it hit the tower, they were half HP and required one more combo. sOAZ taking some damage here.
Splitting up across the map, Exileh just going to hop over the wall here to make it to safety, but a fumble coming in from OG, not respecting the tower pushing potential. It's not a Caitlyn, but you leave a Kalista uncontested, she will burn that down.
Yeah, eventually somebody will hit the tower if PoE's not present, and that means that Unicorns can step forward right now, get some more division, and then it becomes very hard for Origen to play in. Tiny map, a lot of fog of war for Origen. Nobody can truly face check into a wealth of CC, and that's what we saw yesterday with Fnatic as well. Similar, slightly slow starts, but then in the mid game, once they just started denying this vision, it was incredibly hard for their opponents to take control back of the map.
Looking in though, sOAZ continuously looking for these duels, does have the level advantage, item advantage as well. Vizicsacsi still struggling to finish that Ravenous Hydra, really committing to that early on here. And Power looking to make a play, but it may cost him his life. Caught out in the mid lane. Concussive blows, drops. Exileh is going to pick up another one. 2-0-1 for the rookie LeBlanc.
Yeah, there we see the Unicorns owner happy this time. Talking to him a little bit before the games, like these guys need time to gel.
Apparently it was only 2 games, because they're looking a lot better this time around.
All it took was 20 minutes right now, and Unicorns are going to win the split.
I'm never living that one down.
Yeah.
Of course, looking at it, PowerOfEvil really struggling. Does have the Athenes now, a very supportive item build, as well as working on that Rod of Ages. Could potentially be a tough road for him, as the Abyssal's already been completed by Exileh, and you can see him and Hylissang just clearing things out here.
Yeah, but any combination of 2 champions here on the Unicorns is enough for like a little skirmish where they can isolate a target and take it down. Like whether it's the damage from Trundle combined with the CC from either LeBlanc or Move, or Hylissang joining any of these champions to add a passive and really just stun lock people. It just allows Unicorns to be very creative in their picks. Whereas if you look at Origen, the only CC they really have is Shockwave and then Parallel Convergence. They have defensive resets from the Janna, but once you fall behind, it becomes such a tough game to play. A double dash into chains. Look where Hylissang is coming from so far. Then goes for Q flash into ulti, and you have to wonder where is PowerOfEvil's flash. I mean, once you see the LeBlanc coming, you have to respect it.
Maybe just not giving enough respect over to the Exileh as a mid lane. You can see sOAZ has to burn his ult on the bottom side. Exileh looking a little hungry for blood. Has to be careful. Ekko no MR. Ooh, does have to flash to safety though. sOAZ has learned a little better than his mid laner did in that earlier exchange.
And PoE not really impressing so far in this summer split. Makes you wonder, since this Origen lineup is looking for cohesion, looking for leadership, it may be wise for them to sub in Expeke for a couple of games.
A unique option only available to OG. And definitely we've seen how quickly it changes the team dynamic.
The X Factor.
The X Factor. There's literally could not be a better name for that. Looking forward though. Amazing at OG. They are playing on the back foot, but they're not giving up too much just yet.
Hey, maybe next game, Expeke gonna give it to you.
There's no way to follow that up because that song is so gratuitously inappropriate.
Yeah, it's not like you can quote a single lyric from that song without getting fired.
Except for that one. Taking all the glory. Of course, OG now pushing down mid lane, maybe feeling a little bit more comfortable grouped up than they did in their respective side lanes. But LeBlanc's already pushing out as well as the Trundle, and OG now looking to collapse.
Looking to collapse, leaving mid lane exposed though. They have PowerOfEvil there, but I think Unicorns are going to change directions and just run to the top lane and then cut off the supply. So if they trade 1 kill for a tower, it's fine, especially considering they're getting amazing splash here. So look at the resources burned. They only start basing in the bottom lane here. And Origen is looking to kind of take the scenic approach where they watch the tower die, catch the wave. So this is a fine trade for Unicorns because every tower that dies, they can move the ward line, the pressure line up farther into the enemy jungle, deny the vision that's behind it, and then eventually isolate the Baron. That's what they're looking for in about 5 minutes from now.
Red buff after red buff taken away from Origen as well, taking down the tower. And OG, they're making moves on the map, but they are getting punished for them left and right. And UOL just keep coming ahead. A 3K gold lead now in their favor.
Yeah, look at this. This is exactly what's going to happen every time. You're right, it is Korea where supports get picked up by LeBlancs.
This is what we were talking about. You never want LeBlanc to get to that point where she just pushes a couple buttons and deletes you.
Yeah, great display of skill there.
Yeah. Hey, Exileh, he's been standing in bushes a lot this game, hiding, waiting. It finally pays off. Happy to grab that kill onto Hybrid. UOL doesn't look like they're going to be able to do too much with it, but they will reset the pressure and start to spend this gold that they've been accruing.
Yeah, and these very pick-oriented compositions seems to be doing well. At the start of the summer split. Usually when you see these comps, it's kind of 5 kills or bust in the early game, but when teams are still finding their footing and not really that cohesive, communications is lacking due to some changes in the team structure or imports, whether they speak the language or not. For example, Origen, yes, they all speak English, but they lost their shot calling component, so they're trying to find a footing. Then these compositions that can always prey on the chaos seem actually to work. Fnatic ran a pick up yesterday against Giants, and then today Unicorns doing it against OG. Also a little lost on the map.
And when we think about it, as Exileh tries to steal away another buff for himself, I think it looks to be pretty well. We'll have to hold that thought though. The fight starting. TP comes in. Chachi throws down the pillar. Ult coming in. Not going to find purchase there. UOL just backing off, but some proactive movement there to start the fight.
Yeah, a lot of pings here for Unicorns as well, indicating their movement here. Pick on sOAZ.
Nice phase dive over the wall, Exileh. Not going to be able to follow that one up quite yet. Spectre's Cowl coming in from sOAZ at this stage of the game, as well as the increased health pool, just making it difficult for the burst combo to really work on him.
Yep, and every lane just gets pushed into the tower, and then they disappear into the darkness, and now Move can move up for the zone. Pillar slows him down, so that should be an easy cocoon.
Culling and ult coming out for Origen, though, giving up 2 major cooldowns just to clear the wave. You can see how far ahead the Unicorns of Love are. Their gold lead extending to 4K now.
Yeah, and they're actually playing it still smart. They're not tunneling on this setup that they have. In the short term, you really want to get these towers, but they're sending Vizicsacsi to the top lane right now. 1, to soak the farm, 2, to make it a 1-3-1 type of thing, where they can always pick somebody off that moves in between the lanes. Between 2 lanes, it's somewhat easy for Origen to defend, because they all need to guess where the majority members are, and then hope that LeBlanc can't 1v1. But once this Trundle gets the wave to the tower, we could see another tower fall here on the side of Origen.
And we'll have to see if Origen are still comfortable looking for that trade of objectives, if they can trade a kill or a tower back, or if they're just going to play defensively and try not to give up anything in this 1-3-1, because it's going to get harder as we see another duel coming out. Exileh, this man's on fire. He just needs one more round of cooldowns. Flash forward, distortion. That's a rampage. 4-0-1, the scoreline coming out.
And the crowd goes mild.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
Not that long.
Not that long.
Another pick here, amazing. Feeling the brunt of it.
Skirmish just coming out
base.
left and right. Blade of the Rune King goes down. Amazing running to safety. Lamb's Respite will only keep him safe for so long. Support coming in to try to protect him, but Hybrid gonna give his life. Exileh looking for another one. Moving into the mid lane. UOL owning the map and now looking to break the mid lane.
Yeah, mid lane tower exposed right now, and this is just Origen falling apart. They again go for a very slow composition that is conditional on solid positional team fights, because they don't have the CC to kind of force people to die, really. They need them to kind of go full on 5v5 and then hope that they keep fighting you. Origen need to start drafting more CC. I think it's a lot easier if you're a newer team to just draft a well for crowd control effects, and then you can really pick your targets.
And it's working out so well for the Unicorns of Love, but on the opposite side, Origen, we talked about amazing potentially getting ahead here, but him having 3 kills just isn't worth anything when every single member of UOL is so strong at this point. LeBlanc finishing those 2 items, Elise as well, and everything is going in the favor now as that Mountain Drake will fall. Yeah,
finally, good Drake here for Unicorns. They can be happy about that. Also, just, we mentioned it in the intro, yesterday Move and Exileh may as well have been invisible in their series. Today, they're really the driving force behind a lot of these pickoffs, more so Exileh than Move, but they're all playing a role in it. Hylissang joining in a couple of times, switching targets, always having concussive blows, so it does seem that they just valued the CC that the Braum gave, the comfort pick, also stealing it away from Hybrid. Hybrid has not really left a mark here in the series, picking a Janna, which is lowly considered for a lot of supports. Mythi was talking about it in his interview how there is no support meta, it's wide open, but consensus seems that Janna is lower on the tier list. People have been picking like Karma, Nami over it.
Soraka even coming out more frequently.
Yeah.
Of course, looking at the way the game is unfolded, Exileh, they gave him these small leads. Move comes to his lane, Hylissang comes to his lanes, and now we're seeing what he can do with them. 5-0-1 the scoreline. As you said, we're skeptical about all these guys. Even Veritas making his mark this time around.
All right, this is where we play teacher and we judge the Baron bait. One of the topics I'm truly fascinated by, but everybody thinks is utterly boring.
All right, so break it down for me. 1 blue trinket just dropped on the side of OG. They've got one
start
more.
The blue trinkets. At least this time they're doing it right. Pink ward in the pit. Always needed. And yeah, you just want to defend your pink wards, push up the waves, get some deeper wards. So that pink ward above red bush right now, ideally will get cleared by the Unicorns. But they have to be ready because Origen right now, they're desperate. If anything, they should just put the ball on sOAZ, have him dash in, and carry the ball towards the carry, and then just press ulti on PowerOfEvil.
Looking for the combo there. You can see the flank coming in from behind. TP coming in as well. Unicorns are going to start the fight. That's a two-man knockup, but sOAZ suddenly in the backline. PowerOfEvil nowhere to be seen. The snapback comes out, and suddenly sOAZ is all alone as Veritas turns it around and grabs a killing spree.
Yeah, that was a very impressive turn there. In unison, 3 members from Unicorns turned to sOAZ, while Hylissang CC was enough to slow the other flank from Origen down, though. So they didn't commit on the strong part. PowerOfEvil now face checks.
Stun comes up. Cocoon, PowerOfEvil trying to make it to safety. That's a great shockwave, but Exile's got more than enough damage to burn him down solo.
Yeah, only 7 stacks on Run of Ages and an Athene, so that's not much damage there on Power. You could hit 5 people and it wouldn't matter unless it wasn't the start of the fight to lock people in for a parallel convergence combo, but it's too little too late right now. Unicorns, I really like the turn they did there onto sOAZ. They defended their AD carry, allowed him to then join the next part of the fight. Everybody's still alive. They're working as a team.
Baron drops. OG may be hoping to pick up this mid lane consolation prize, but Veritas should be enough to defend. We'll go look at this again. Amazing coordination.
Yeah, so TP on the top side, so that's done. Hylissang goes in, moves up forward, and then he gets pulled back by Veritas. So all the damage that Origen was looking to trade, at least on the support, for their top laner, which is already an efficient trade, got nullified by that Fate's Call. That's why we see some of these Kalistas coming back in. Reckless and Yellowstar did the same thing. The only deaths Yellowstar really got yesterday was him throwing himself into the fight. Then of course PoE, an unlucky rotation. Maybe he felt forced to go face check and see what happens on the Baron, but I don't think there was anything Origen could have done regardless. So
in the end, they give the Baron away anyway, try to push out the mid lane, aren't able to grab anything, and the gold lead just continues to grow in the favor of UOL, 47.2 to 39.8, and massive creep waves. A fed LeBlanc that's just going to rip through that health bar.
And this is where you got to question some of these picks like a Janna. What is it? Yeah, Janna can reset the fight, but what is she really going to do against some of these combos from LeBlanc? The hard CC that comes out, there's too much of it to truly defend and unlock Forgiven.
Good start to the fight, but no follow-up from OG. One shockwave, not enough to turn this, and once again, multiple ults used to clear the wave.
And I like what Move did there too. He knew the shockwave was coming, so instead of flashing out defensively to save himself, he went for the aggressive flash cocoon to bar anybody from entering the fight, to maybe buy some time, you know, keep his carries alive. So Move playing a lot better here in these fights.
Significantly more impactful today, sOAZ maybe hoping to find a stun here, but the tower is going to drop. Turns his sights on the jungler, but it's too little too late. Inhibitor next on the menu. Move going forward. Amazing. The shutdown goes in. Fate's Call onto the backside. The fight continues. Looking for more. Forgiven dropped as well. PowerOfEvil. He's next. They're going to turn their sights away from sOAZ and onto the Inhibitor. Unicorns of Love crush out that exchange and look to end the game.
Yeah, one Nexus Tower looking to fall. Complete whitewash here. Origen back to the drawing board. It's necessary. Change your pick and bans. Change your approach to the game. If not, Unicorns looking more cohesive, stronger, and they're hoping for a 2-0.
sOAZ hoping to get something back, but he's not going to find anything. Exile, he'll grab one though. Legendary for the LeBlanc in the mid lane, and the win for Unicorns of Love. 1-0 up in this series.
Yeah, cozy little studio here. Smaller audience, but what they lack in size, they make up
sheer
in
volume from the Unicorns of Love fans. Got to have respect for those guys. Very
Origen.
good win coming into UOL. I'm stunned that worked out so well for them, but they came together.
So was Origen. On multiple occasions. Knocked up too.
Consecutively. The Cocoon's so good from Move. Hylissang aggressive as ever. We didn't think that he'd get the freedom to roam with Veritas on that Kalista, but it just worked out for them in the end.
Yeah, they played safe where they needed to, didn't force the 2v2 trades. I like the part where they hid in the brush, waited for Forgiven to come, and then a flash.